Are we on? Yes, good morning. It is Wednesday, July 29th, 2026. The time is 8:30. The Grant County Election Board is starting a meeting on time, so that's something to be applauded. Since we're usually a few minutes late, it's nearly always my fault. Present for the meeting of the Grant County Election Board is myself, Craig Persinger, Chairman, Tom Root, Election Board Member, Pam Harris, County Clerk, Board Member, and our Election Deputy, Nancy Bryant. We'd like to add one item to the published agenda, which is approval of the minutes of the meeting that was March 17th, I believe. Copies of the minutes have been distributed to the board members for review. Are there any corrections, additions to the minutes?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the March 17th meeting.
I'll second.
Motion and a second has been made to approve the minutes of the March 17th meeting. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. We have two public questions to discuss today. Both one by Oak Hill School Corporation, the other by the Miss-Cinewah School Corporation, asking that public questions, which they have previously approved, be certified for placement on the fall election ballot, I guess. The first is from Oak Hill United School Corporation. We have been provided with certified resolutions from the school corporation, the governing body, the school board, and copies of the supporting documents to that as required by statute. And those have been forwarded by Superintendent Hartman to us for approval to be placed on the fall ballot. The public question involves a referendum regarding increased levies for specified purposes for a period of time. In this case, no more than 8 years. Copies of the proposed language are available from the school corporation for those who would be interested, and will be available prior to the election if approved for voters to review. We've been provided with all the supporting documents and the resolutions. Is there any discussion or questions among the board? If there are no questions or comments, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the proposed language for placement on the fall ballot.
I move that we approve the language for the fall ballot.
I second.
There's been a motion and second to approve the proposed public question language from Oak Hill United School Corporation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The proposed language for the public question is approved, and we will direct our election deputy to transmit that to the appropriate state agencies, which I believe would be the DGLF. Does the state election division need to be? I don't know if they need to be.
It's been entered in SVRS, the state's database, to become part of the ballot, just like candidates get entered in there, but I will check. I can't remember
Very good.
if, yeah.
Secondly, we have a second public question to consider. This from Miss-Cinewah Community School Corporation. Once again, that we have been provided with copies of the resolution of the Miss School Board, asking that the public question be placed on the ballot, and certification from the Indiana Department of Local Government Finance, signing off on the proposed resolution, and comes to us for final approval. Once again, this would be a referendum on an increase in the property tax rate of no more than 8 years. And once again, this language will be available to the public for review in advance of the election. Are there any questions, comments regarding Ms. Sinnwell Community Schools request for public question? No questions or comments? Chair will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the language from Stillwater to be on the ballot referendum.
I second.
A motion and a second has been made to approve the Miss Sinnwell Community School Corporation's request that the proposed public question be placed on the November ballot. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. So similarly, Miss Sinnwell's public question will be placed on the fall ballot. Next item, we have election equipment inventory forms to review and approve. Nancy?
We have to do these twice a year, confirming our inventory as of January 1st, which we already did that one. And then the one confirming our inventory as of July 1st.
Have there been any significant changes to our inventory?
We have not had any changes.
We got what we got.
We got what we got. We haven't sold any, we haven't got rid of any, we haven't bought any new ones.
Did Microboat repair one of the machines when they were here in the primary? It seemed to me there was a issue with one of the machines that they had to go out and it wasn't working.
What are my forms? No, I believe it was one of those situations that once they got out there, it was fine. It was human error. You know what I mean? On the part of the staff, it was human error. Well, I printed those off and I filled them out yesterday. And I have the folder, there's January. Well, unless I left them laying on, oh wait, no, unless I left them laying on my desk, but I put, wait. I was on vacation last week, that's what I'm gonna blame it on. Yeah, so we have 105 voting machines, and we have 110 VV pads. So we have to certify a percentage, how many VV pad, and we have 100, which is what we're required, the last couple of years, I think, we've been required to have one on every machine now, so, and we do with some spares, so there's 2 copies of that, if you could.
All right. I think by our signatures, we're approving that, so I don't think we need a formal vote.
And this does get emailed to the election division. Do that, when we go back. We do have a tour, well, these come up during delivery. So I don't know if the poll workers knew it or if it's something happened in transit, but we have 2 or 3 machines with broken leg.
Right.
Like the foot, I guess is what you call it, or that's what, the rubber end, 2 or 3 of them broke off. So they're sitting on top of the machine case. But I reported that when you do the, Microvote always sends out a survey at the end of the election and it asks you to report. So normally Microvote's out making their rounds in the summer and looking at issues. Because I have a few VV pads that are jammed that I can't get unjammed or no. So if I don't hear from them in the next week or so, I might reach out to them and just say, hey, am making their rounds to
Are
do
those
our
stands
equipment?
replaceable on the carrying cases where they can pop them out and pop a new one in?
Mhm. Sometimes they're just repairable, but most of the time, it looks like these, however it is they've broken off, I don't even know how.
Not the
that
sturdiest
happens.
things in the world.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's true, that's true. The case itself is, but those legs, to me,
Yeah.
seem a little,
Flimsy.
like in the public tet, it's never like they feel like tight. There is some, I don't know.
I'm sure they're
But-
gonna keep them lightweight. All right. The
Thank you.
inventory forms have been signed. We'll forward those to the state. And the final item is poll worker comments from the primary election. Copies of which have been distributed.
Some of the things we have no control over, like the scan license holder.
And
I mean,
And without being there in the moment, sometimes reading these, it's like, I don't exactly know what they're talking about.
Well, the lights sometimes affect when you put your ID under there and it doesn't want to scan, so you have to adjust the,
And we've even had to do that over here. And they're even shown that, doesn't mean there's, even in training, it's talked about. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it.
right.
Obviously, they're supposed to be checking for expiration, they're supposed to be, making sure obviously it's an Indiana driver's license and it fits within the parameters of what's considered expired. But, and they're told in training how to enter it manually, that it's not, so, and the tray only goes in one place, and it, you've seen them, so without trying to figure out, unless they just had weird lighting and were running across it several times, that's usually not the norm. But that they don't scan, but down, we even have that happen occasionally in early voting. But some of these, yeah, like you said, you can't.
So the vote here signs, there was a request for more of those, like a JC Body Shop, just to get people in there. Do we have access to those, or can we prepare some of
We
those?
can get some of those, and then also, when we met at the Y, they were requesting a few more there as well.
Yeah.
So we've got
We have a ton
yeah,
downstairs in the election room, there is a ton.
We have banners too, don't we? Some banners are.
yeah, those flags.
Those are going by the wayside, unfortunately, some of them are breaking,
Yeah,
or they say they don't have a place to put them, because they need grass to put in the stake.
Mhm.
So some of them are coming back not being put up, and some of them are coming back with a piece missing or a piece broke off, so unfortunately. But then the Y, she was like, I think it was last year, or not last year, in the primary. Carla was just like, hey, well, if you've got some that aren't being put up, she was all about send them my way, so I think Van Buren says they're surrounded by cement and don't have a place.
Yeah.
So I didn't even bother to give Van Buren one and let the Y have Van Buren's. So,
I like the suggestion of maybe advertising the bus routes that go to which
Right.
voting centers.
Of course, in Marion, I understand they'll take you anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't know about the county.
As long as it's in, I assume, are they in city limits? Because I know when we were at Lakeview, they were not city limits, because that came up during COVID, when the bus routes were, because there wasn't any bus routes, I don't think, for a while, and then they were running on election day, but Lakeview was not in Marion city limits, so they
I
weren't running
don't
to
think there's any
Lakeview.
bus service in the county, is there?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know.
I know that historically, both political parties have had volunteers who
Transport.
will transport
Yeah.
voters to polls. I assume both parties are still doing that.
Yeah, hope so too.
Or just public spirited citizens too.
Yeah.
So just to confirm, in case I get a question, because I feel like they felt very passionately about this, it is gonna stay at JC Body Shop, at least, I mean, we probably don't know about forever. Because there was a suggestion, because of the location and parking, the poll workers thought, which that's why we didn't have it in the primary, because they had a scheduling conflict, because inside,
In the great room
the
there.
great, I couldn't remember what they called it, the great room, because we've had a couple meetings in there during COVID when we couldn't.
I did, that was one of the notes that I sent out earlier this week to the locations and to those preparing meals. And the one I sent to College Church was asking us if there was any way of moving it from JC Body Shop into the great room, and I haven't heard back. So if that's a possibility, since that was something that they had requested, and it's just right there, so.
And I think I remember telling them when I was asked, well, I believe we ended up there because because they were like, we were there before, and, well,
Yeah,
and I said, well, I'm pretty sure maybe there was a scheduling conflict, because I believe we were looking at that or considering that, but I feel like there was a scheduling conflict with
And
that room.
That was a last minute change anyway,
Exactly,
because,
yeah.
Oh, that's right, because of the
Yeah.
river and lake, right, right.
that's right.
Well, my feelings are, I very much like to have it, at least for the same calendar year, the primary and the general held in the same place. And then
Okay.
that's just,
yeah.
any changes to vote centers, even different locations with the same vote centers, I think are best made between election cycles.
I can touch base, because I just sent that note out, I can touch base, Tara is who we had spoke with, I can touch base with her and tell her to disregard that, if that's what you would rather.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
okay,
For this, even the statute change, I think, or whatever, that we can change them, I think for the sake of convenience from the primary.
Okay, I
If
will
we
do that
can.
today, yes.
All right, there were lots of comments about food, poll workers, there was.
They're always.
Yeah.
We'll have to appoint a culinary consultant to, I think generally,
Nancy says give him a banana and a peanut butter sandwich.
I know, I'm like, brown bag it, here's your money, spend it however you want, but brown bag it and fend for yourself, because this is and I'm not even that hands-on, it's more like just conversation and suggestions or input, whatever, but this is like such a huge, for everything that involves the election, to have this much time and energy and money go to the food for one day is like crazy, I feel like crazy. So I've been on the bandwagon for a long time, just give them the style, like when they get their $100, $125, whatever it is for working,
Just add that 30.
add that $33 food, and then they'll know ahead of time, brown bag it.
I think generally, most people seem to be pleased.
I think there are more positives, and they're always gonna be negative, it does not matter. We could give them filet mignon and baked potato and salad.
I
And there would be, I'd be going out to the vote center then, if we're ever gonna do that, I'd be like,
I eat well on elections days.
Yeah.
well, I'm happy with that's what, it's hard for us to hard for me to wrap my head around is, we're happy with we get a good breakfast, obviously, great breakfast. And then we make do for 2 meals, munching on sandwiches and chips, and we're perfectly happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know sometimes what people, it's one day, I mean, there's that whole theory, it's one day.
Speaking of food, my stomach's growling.
Yeah.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Our next meeting will be announced soon. I don't know
Okay,
what
to
it
be
is.
announced, okay.
TBD.
We'll be in it.
season 2.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Season two,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you.